Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pragmatic Practitioner kickoff pre-party, whatever you want to call it. Yay. So happy that you guys are here, and it's great to see you guys also on camera. It's way easier to connect with you, seeing each other. You know, we used to sit in rooms together. Remember those times? Now everything is online. Which is also great in a way. And so that makes it easier to see you and connect. So welcome to this conversation about what else is possible with creating change in the world. I mean, how many of you are excited about inspiring people, inspiring the world to something greater? Yeah. And you keep looking for ways of how else can I inspire this person and that person? Maybe they're in your family or they're your clients, or maybe you want to work more with clients. And so many of us who are in that, have that wish, and also who have a profession in that direction, we tend to work really hard. Let's put it that way. And we tend to work harder than we have to. It's like, how many of you have tried to make other people happy? Probably started when you were a kid with your parents or your family, or you try to help other people. It's like, yep, what if there's an easier way? What if you don't have to work so hard? And all it takes is to start with changing your point of view, changing your perspective. And most people have decided, but it is my job to make them happy. That's why I'm on this planet. Maybe, or maybe not. Maybe you could change your job description from I'm here to save everyone and make everyone happy to I'm here to be happy. That would be just like a shift in the perspective, and it makes all the difference. Why? Because our points of view create our reality. So if you have decided it's your job to make everyone happy, how much of their heaviness do you have to burden, take on, carry? Wow. So, you know, the choice of letting that go and going, okay, so what am I actually here for? You know, if I have that lust to inspire the world to something greater, if I have that lust to create a world that works for us, what if I could do it in a different way? And those times of I have to suffer for other people, the Jesus times, what if they're over? You know, what if there's a different way of contributing? And, you know, like we can also acknowledge there was a time to do that. You know, there was a time when that was required and when it worked. But what if it's not required anymore? You know, what if you can actually be here to, rather than making other people happy, to be happy? Yeah. And just notice, okay, what would that create? And I just had before this conversation, we had a Zoom with participants. Some of them were doctors, teachers, parents. And it was about working with children and clients in general, actually. And all of them had the point of view, it's my job to da 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 da, you know, for the client or for the kid. And in the conversation, they realized, okay, so if I relax, because when just get it back up, if you have the point of view, it's my job to da 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 for that person, how much are you stuck in what's right and what's wrong and what's good and what's bad? Like you constantly have to go, okay, did I say the right thing? Should I have given them that tool instead of this tool? Did I give them too much? Did I give them too little? Like you constantly worry about getting it right or wrong. And so we looked at that in that Zoom just an hour ago. And it was really cool how the conversation changed to, what if I start by relaxing and realizing it's not my job to save this person? I can just be And I can, from that different perspective, I can really start to ask questions. What's required with this conversation, with this session? What are the infinite possibilities here? And notice it's a very broad and big question, right? It's not like, what do I have to do? It's like, what are the infinite possibilities? I wonder. And you don't have a result in mind of what should be achieved, because that would be a judgment and a projection. You just are in the question, and you allow the conversation and the session and the person to show you what can be created. And how much more is this like including the person rather than you pushing and judging? And then there was one of the teachers, and it was really cool. And she said, yeah, she as a teacher was sitting in a conference, and she realized, oh my God, she was getting tired after 30 minutes, she said, because like the conference was all about someone teaching, someone telling, someone pushing information at her. And she's like, oh, can't stay awake. And then she realized, wow, that's how it is for children. That's how it is for us who have to take educations, for some points or whatever. And this is what this reality does. It tells us you have to push information. You have to deliver. And the person who gets the delivery from you, not always comfortable. It's not always wonderful to be on the recipient's end and having someone go, this is the tool you have to use, and this is what you should do. Yeah. And come on, you can do this, the pushy push. It's like, it's not always very comfortable to have that energy, and it's very tiring. And so she realized, oh my God, that's how children have it in school all day long. Like they're being pushed information rather than having conversations, rather than being asked. And so she learned some of the tools from pragmatic practitioners, like the asking questions and, how can I work with questions? And so she used them in school, right? She used them with her students. And she said, it was so cool what opened up. And at the same time, the kids, when I started asking them questions, they looked at me like I was an alien, like I was from another planet. And she's like, why? Like what? What? And I'm like, yeah, because are children used to being asked any questions? No, they're not being asked, they're told what to do, right? So if you are the first person who actually is interested in them and you ask them questions, of course the answer and the reaction is, what do you want from me? Who are you, weird lady? Like, yeah. So I said, give them some time. Like, let them get used to someone actually being interested in them. And that's the same for adult clients or people in your life, like the genuine being interested in someone rather than having a point of view about someone. It's like, how many people do you have in your life who have points of view about you and your life and how you live it? And they tell you, they give you suggestions, or they give you sneaky suggestions that, like all packed up in caring, but it's actually like points of view and judgments and not allowance at all. And you go, why do I feel so weird when I talk with this person? Why do I feel so wrong? Because they're making you wrong, because they have a point of view about you. So people are seldom interested in each other. So what if you could actually be different and have genuine interest in people and go, hey, how is things going for you? What would you like? What do you know? What's true for you? And that's something I'm like, this is a big element of the pragmatic practitioner movement, where like those who work as pragmatic practitioners around the world, we have now wonderful people around the world who are pragmatic practitioners, beautiful people who work with these tools in schools, hospitals, businesses, sessions. And they have learned, first of all, to be genuinely interested in people, and also to Invite the person they work with to find out what's true for them. And this is huge. It's like, oh my goodness. Like when I was working, I'm going to say as a normal psychologist and therapist, and I did what I was taught to do, oh my God, like there was so many points of view about what I should like get to or what this should be. But there was not really a, like, what I wished for this to be more is like a genuine interest in, hey, what is true for you? Because there's so many concepts out there. There's so many, like when someone has a problem and they talk to someone, so many points of view, so many stories, so many like, oh, like, yeah, this is because of this, right? And people are like hobby psychologists all over the place. They're like, yeah. And you listen to the cough, like, you know, when you're in a restaurant and you listen to the conversation next to you, like, you know, because they're like, yeah, it's yeah, I understand why, because it's because of this and this, and yeah, of course, and you should do this and this, and la 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 la. So people project on each other all the time and judge. So the invitation here is, what if we are different with anybody you meet on the street, with anyone in your life, and also the people that pay for your sessions or that you would like to start working with as clients. And you help them to, rather than conceptualizing everything and having definitions and categories and labels, to go, what is this thing that's troubling you? What's the awareness underneath? What is this? What treasure box of awareness is this actually to you? And then every problem can be turned into a possibility as much as the person is willing to have it. And it doesn't have to have a fancy name, like a psychological, logical name. Like there's, oh my God, like you can Google everything and or look up in a psychology book. Everything has a name. Everything has a, oh yeah, it's called da 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 da. Okay, I feel so much better because it has a fancy name now. I'm not crazy. I just have a fancy thing going on, you know, and it's totally logical, psychological, logical. It's like, yeah, great. And then is that going to change anything? You know, it might make you feel better for a moment, and that's great. But then what? What would you actually like? Would you actually like to have this changed? Well, then you might need a different approach. You might need to actually ask some questions of what the awareness and what the treasure box is underneath it. And yeah, it's different, you know, like in Zoom we just had about pragmatic practitioner before, or with pragmatic practitioners, we talked about how in this world we have been taught to, when something feels bad, when something makes you anxious or depressed, what is the thing that people have learned to do in this world? Go, yay, let me receive it. Or have we learned, how can I get rid of it? How can I avoid it really, really quickly? And the thing is, what you try to avoid, what you try to resist persists. You just make it stronger. And then there's so many strategies people learn about avoiding and getting rid of it, you know. So many, you know, I'm sure you can think of many, many ways of how you can, you know, make things go away, or how, like when something is anxious, how you try to turn down the volume of the bad feeling. Well, that's just making it stronger. So that's the dramatic approach. The pragmatic would be to use that to your advantage. There's something underneath, there's some awareness, something that this wants to show you, something that this tries to show you, hey, your life can take a different direction. And if you ask questions and receive it, it's a treasure box. So that's like, oh my God, I can talk forever. It's like, if people would find out what's true for them, could they ever doubt themselves again? No. So that's the invitation and a different approach, like just shortly summarized of this different work. And we have people around the world who are pragmatic practitioners now. We have a whole web page, and there you can see, you can find people who use the tools of pragmatic psychology, and they do sessions, and you can find them all around the world. So if you're looking for someone to contribute to you in sessions, you can find them on that web page, and you can become one of them. And we can, if you're interested, we can send you information about that. But you can also just like start with doing only one class and do it for you and your life and for your work with other people. And you don't have to go all the way and become a pragmatic practitioner. You can just do a class, and it's a really very different training. It's a 3-day class, and you can take it live or online. And it's a really very different way of work, because it's about including you. What I've seen in all these different educations is it's all about the work. It's all about someone having created a way of working, and then you're supposed to do that the way that they have told you to do it. And that's great, but there's something big that is oftentimes missing, which is you. You with what you are that thing that's the inspiration. Everything else is a bonus. Like if you learn to use you and your uniqueness, and you add those perspectives and you add those tools, like firework of possibilities. And I always felt like, yeah, I can do what they tell me to do with those like modalities, and I've learned many different ones. But there was also, I always had to go into my head and go, okay, so according to this modality, the patient telling me this, what was the thing I should say and do? Yeah. And I was like, it makes you be in your head rather than be present with the person, and being present with the person, that is the thing, that is the whole magic of creating change. And from that presence, you get so much information, not only from the words they say, but from everything that's going on energetically at the same time. And it can make your work so much easier and greater, because you don't only rely on the words, and you don't only rely on the interpretation of what the client is saying according to this modality. It's so much broader and easier and beneficial to create change. So I'm a fan of this. I was looking for this myself everywhere, couldn't find it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to create this. So now we've had this for many years around the world. So the whole umbrella is pragmatic psychology, and pragmatic practitioner is the part of pragmatic psychology that's about learning how to facilitate change for yourself and other people. And you always have to include you. It's like, this is not about, I will now give you these tools and be really awesome and be perfect, and I will teach you. No. It's, you always have to work on you. It's like, we're not perfect and, oh my God, you have to listen to me. No, you're not the source. People are their own source. So, and having the vulnerability to go, hey, I'm not perfect. I'm using these tools on me. I'm looking to get greater every day. And let's see what we can create together, in this time together, in this conversation or in this session, whatever it is. And that's what I love, oh my God, we don't need to be the gurus or something. We can just be, and then it's such a different connection with people. Yeah. So there's so much. We also have a whole video series, very short videos, like 2 to 4 minutes each, about this work. If you want to check it out, I don't know how it's working with the technical part, but someone can send you the link to it. So there's so much more you can find out. And I'd love to have you at one of the next Pragmatic Practitioner classes. And we have the next one in Florence, Italy. Florence is beautiful. It's absolutely fascinating. And Massimiliana is the amazing, like, at the place creator for this. And she's also a psychologist, and she's also a pragmatic practitioner and a really incredible creator in person. And you can also take that class online. And because I said psychologist, you don't have to be a psychologist. I hope that's clear. I hope that's very clear. You can be just someone who says, yes, I want to create more change. I want to, I want to just be the peacock and just be awesome, and then see what I can create in the world with that. And so you don't have to have any profession. You don't have to have any background. You can just go, I know nothing. I just want to start. Or you can have 10,000 years of experience doing counseling, and you just want to have something different that's honoring to you and your body and your world, and that gives you creativity to work in a different way. This is really for everyone. And it's really cool in these classes, like the one we had just had. We had like doctors, teachers, parents, grandparents, and the conversations we had, like everyone went, oh, I didn't see the teacher's side of this. Like, oh, I didn't see the doctor's side of this. And it's like, it all contributed to each other, where it's like, oh, okay, we can actually like contribute to each other in a different way. It was really beautiful. So I am very much looking forward to the Florence one we have coming up in 2 weeks, I think. Yeah. And we also, what we do in these classes, we like I facilitate, but also we have one-on-one sessions, so you can also practice with each other. And we like practice facilitation in the class, and then we see what comes from there and what awareness you get. So I'm really looking forward to more people spreading this. I asked for not being the only one who does this. So now that's why I'm training other people to do this, because this is such a different way. Like, oh my God, like coming from psychiatry and seeing where you go, we have like, this is like Stone Age still oftentimes how people are treated. Like, honestly, it's incredible how what's normal out there, and how like labels and all this stuff is more normal than empowerment. So I'm really looking forward to a totally different way of creating change with each other. And it starts with us, it really does. Of, how can you just like embrace your crazy difference and enjoy it more than is normal, and stop making you wrong and using it as this incredible resource to be great. And again, what if you're here not because you need to change people? What if you're here to just have an awesome time and enjoy and be you? And that being the inspiration, not your hard work, but what you be. So just a different perspective. So thank you, everyone. Massimiliana, thank you for creating this. I'm really looking forward to seeing you and all of you.
Thank you to you to come in Italy. I'm so happy for this.
Me too.
Yes, I'm so happy for this. And I hope that many people come in Florence, because really Florence is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful city, and this class is amazing. So I know that in the Italian chat this evening there are several Italian people. So what would it take that they comes in Florence, and also the other people here? Yes.
It's easy to get to with train or plane or car, and yeah.
Yes,
And
it's
join
very
us
easy to
online.
come.
You can join from the comfort of your home. That's also really amazing. You know what works for you, and you know what's easy for you. That's like whatever works in these. Thank you, everyone. Big hugs.